Welcome to Conversations Between Us Girls Part 2. I'm your host Valerie and this is Insight. Last month we talked about how women and girls are portrayed in the media and the negative effects it has on women and girls. We also discussed about women and girls and how they're treated, how they should be treated, and how they should carry themselves. You know what, I understand that since our last show, girls, you guys were approached by some people and their opinion on the last show. So what kind of stories did you hear, Katie?
I heard, like, for the past 3 weeks, almost every other day, I got a comment saying, I saw you on TV, what was it called? Insight with teen dating. So it was kind of cool. And then, like, one of my friends was like, I watched your show. She's like, I dumped my boyfriend, I kind of...
Serious?
Yeah, she dumped her boyfriend. She's like, he wasn't treating me really well, so she's like, it's a good thing, and I've moved on.
Oh, that's interesting. That's cool. What school do you go to? Just a reminder for all the viewers out there.
I go to Liza Jackson Preparatory School, and I'm in the 8th grade.
You're in the 8th grade. Cool. All right, Mariella, tell us about yourself, and then if anybody's approached you about being on Insight.
I had a lot of people in the morning. They're like, I was flipping through the channels this weekend, and I was like, I saw you, and I'm like, oh gosh, hey. And I was like, really, y'all actually watch it? And they were like, yeah. I had one of my friends come up to me, and they were like, I watched your show, and I took your advice, and me and my ex are like officially done. And I was like, I felt like I helped somebody, and they were like, yeah. And I also told him to watch your show too, so he could take his own advice. I was like, I laughed.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad your friends are taking your advice from you too on the show. What about you, Kara?
Well, nobody really commented on the show, just like, oh, I saw you on TV, you're like an awesome star now. I'm like, not really, but yeah, you saw me.
All right, that's cool. And what school do you go to for the viewers?
Oh, I go to Choctaw High School, yeah.
All right, that's cool. And at the last end of the show, remember what we were talking about at the very end of it? We were talking about cliques and bullying.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? That's what today's show is about. Today's show is about bullying, and that's a very serious topic. And I know that a lot of people are talking about that because I think it's become more and more of an issue. I know bullying technically has been around forever, but I think it's been more serious because there's a lot of accidents that's happened in the past, and maybe that's happened with you guys personally or whatever. So I want you guys to tell me actually a little bit of personal story about if you guys have ever been bullied. Have you been bullied, Katie, before when you were younger?
Yeah, a few years ago, me and this kid, we were doing an improv scene in drama class. And one of the kids in our scene, it was a family scene, and me and my guy friend, we were, acting like a married couple, and the other actors were, the children. So one of the children took it the wrong way and started spreading a nasty, inappropriate rumor about me and my guy friend. So I was upset about it, and so was he.
That's horrible, rumors, that is a toughie, and that's really hard on people. Mariella, what about you? Have you had a story about being bullied?
Yeah, I was in the 4th grade, and I was riding the bus home. I sat in, I guess, somebody else's seat, and they decided to get all offensive, and they kept telling me to move. And I'm like, there's an empty seat behind me. They were like, no, get up. So I was like, no. So they decided to slap me in my face. It hurt my feelings because I am tinier than all the other kids, so it was kind of painful, but I just didn't let it go like that. I fought back and hit him as well.
Oh, well.
Yes.
All right, so that was physical,
yeah.
What happened to you. Okay, what about you, Kara? Have you been bullied?
Well, back in the 6th grade, I decided to wear my hair down, and it was kind of humid outside, and my hair just turned puffy all of a sudden. So, well, some kids, they came up and they were like, oh my gosh, your hair is so puffy. I'm like, I know, I can't do anything about it. So it felt very bad. I didn't really wear my hair down after that. So.
No, you didn't. So basically your image and having issue with that, so it felt uncomfortable. Well, I've been bullied too when I was younger, and I remember it was in elementary school, and those little Hello Kitty like boxes and tins or whatever, and you keep your little pins and paper in. Well, it was really popular back then. I think it might still be. But some of the girls, the popular girls, had them, and I was like, wow, that's cool, I really want one. So I asked my mom, can I have one? So she bought me one, but she bought me like a really, really big one. And so I brought it into school, and I was so happy. I wanted to show it off, and I put it on my desk. And so the girls, they came around, they surrounded me, and then they're like, why do you have that? You should not have that. That's not cool. Like, there was some rule, and only certain people should have it. So I remember that felt terrible. But here's the next one I'm going to ask you guys. Have you bullied somebody else?
Goodness.
Katie?
Yeah, I was on the bus one day, and I had a banana for lunch, but I hadn't eaten it, and I was waiting till I got home. Well, the banana ended up being rotten and icky and mushy. So this kid was talking smack about me, but I took it further than it needed to go, and I shoved the banana down his shirt, and I didn't mean to, and I regret it, and I tell him I'm sorry every day.
It's horrible. Well, I'm glad you said you're sorry. That's good. All right, what about you, Mariella?
I have a friend, a guy friend of mine, and he's dating this girl. I don't have anything, I don't have a problem with her. She's just not for him. So every time I hear her name, it sounds like a disease. So every time I see somebody that I make fun of, like, haha, you have that type of disease. It's pretty funny.
So yours is verbal, abuse. So you were being a verbal bully, and you were being a physical bully. All right, what about you, Kara?
Well, back in middle school, I think it was like the 7th grade, and I was in band. I think it was beginning band, and then this one kid, he couldn't play his scales, and it was kind of a group thing, so everybody started laughing at him. He had like an issue with like memory and stuff, so I felt kind of bad. But we were laughing at him because he couldn't play his scales, and he was taking forever, so yeah.
Oh, that's really sad. So yours was, you took part in a group. You didn't necessarily say it, but you're still part of the group. Well, I did a bullying thing too in high school. I remember this kid. He actually had a lot of acne on his face, like a whole lot. And actually, some of them was kind of like, pus was actually coming out. It was pretty bad. But anyway, he was really friendly or whatever. But we didn't really want to talk to him because of that. So we gave him a nickname. We called him Ew. So anytime we saw him coming, we would be like, ew is coming, ew. And then we would kind of prevent other people to talk to him. They're like, you don't want to talk to him. So that was kind of an emotional bully that was pretty bad. So I felt pretty bad for doing that. And the bad thing is I never actually apologized for it. And I know I should have done it, but I never did. And I don't know how it affected him or whatever, because I never told him to his face. But I'm going to ask you this question. Now, you had your stories you were telling me about you bullying somebody else or being bullied. What should you have done when you were bullied?
Not broke down. Like, okay, I went to my dad when I heard about the rumor, and because it was, such a bad rumor, I kind of fell out of my tree. But I guess I shouldn't have, because then my dad was telling me, well, if you, fall out of your tree, then that bully knows that he struck you hard, and he'll try to, spread more rumors about you, So it's just kind of like, okay, so I guess you couldn't, I would say don't break down as much, just let it slide by, because they're really the one who's, trying to hurt you, and you already have the one win over them, so.
So in a sense, you're letting them take control over you for letting them affect you the way it did. So that's good. What's a pointer you would give?
I would actually try to get to know this girl instead of just judging her by her name, or like, because she's with my best friend, it's not my relationship, so I shouldn't go into there, so yeah. Okay,
and what about you, Kara?
Well, if you are being bullied or like a rumor, I would say just if you know it's not true, then brush it off, because it's not true, and you know that, so.
All right, y'all gave some really good points, being a stronger person, trying to let it affect you. And I think a lot of times with kids, they don't do that. They let it affect them, and there's a lot of issues that's happened. Either they take it out on them by punching them later, or I'm pretty sure I've done that before, where you kind of retaliate, or you try to be a bigger bully by spreading a rumor, and sometimes people do it to somebody else. They were affected, but I was being bullied, so I'm gonna bully somebody else, and they think that's perfectly fine. So there are ways, and also the other important thing is to tell somebody. I know a lot of times we feel like that's being a tattletale to tell somebody, but you should, especially when it gets really serious. Yes, you should. If you think you can take care of it yourself, you can. Not punching somebody, but as far as just making yourself more confident and surround yourself with better people, better friends. And we're going to come to a close, and we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to show a video about bullying. It was a short little documentary that was played I think about 5 years ago. So we're going to show a little clip on that and then what you guys think about it. So we're going to go on a short break, you guys, and we'll be back, and please join us here on Insight.